Hi everyone, and welcome back to Carla. Well, we got our metal sheets, so now it's time to cut out some metal on the deck, and then hopefully we can get to weld it in. So let's see how it goes.
Welcome to Carla. We're a family of 5 who left our old life behind to follow our dream. A dream of living the simple life together as a family. In 2022, we moved in with my parents to save up money for a sailboat. In August 2023, we were finally able to buy Carla, our one-off 42-foot steel-hull sailboat, and bring her home. Join us as we go through the ups and downs of sailboat restoration.
We've been to the hardware store to buy a recip saw, and I already made a test cut and it works really well. So now it's just time to start cutting. My plan is to cut out a piece all the way across over here, leave a piece in the middle, and then cut out a piece where the stanchions were. So let's go have a look at it. I've drawn a line where I'm going to cut. I think I'm going to start from the hole and go into the cut. We're going to cut it 5 centimeters away from this piece of iron all the way over, and then cut across, and then here again I'm going to draw a line 5 centimeters away from the iron to here, and then cut across again. Then hopefully I'll be able to lift the plate so much that I can get the blade on top of this and cut away the weldings, and then we'll be able to take the whole plate down and draw up the new plate for it. But we'll have to see if I can lift it. If I can't, I'm afraid I have to cut along this one and cut it out in 2 pieces. But I would like to be able to do the other thing. But we'll see. We'll see. For now, let's have a go at this. Here, I'm finding out how hard it actually is to control a recip saw accurately overhead. Even though I drew a line, it was hard to see the line for the guard on the recip saw. Well, that's the first cut. It went alright, I think. The blade got a bit dull at the last, but I think that's okay. I put quite a lot of pressure on it. Maybe I should ease off on the pressure. But I think it went alright. So now we'll see if we can get to turn the corner in there and start making our way to the other side. Exciting. Now we'll try to cut across. I've marked out where the toilet wall is, and I've moved to on top of the deck because then it's easier to make a straight line. So let's see how it goes. Well, I reached the piece of flat iron that's underneath, and I can't really get past it with this saw, so I think I'll have to get the grinder and get a little further and make a hole on the other side that I can start from again. But to get the grinder, I don't want the grinding dust everywhere. I think I'll have to get the fire blanket just to take some of the sparks, and then we'll continue. Well, now we got this far, and I definitely know what kind of blade I'm going to use now. The first few cuts I used this, an all metal blade, but I don't know if it's the epoxy on top that's stopping it or what it is, but it's going really slow. Then I tried shifting to this wood metal blade, and it definitely went a lot faster, at least double the speed going across here. I think maybe it's because it's got coarser teeth that it cuts better through the epoxy, or I don't know. Anyways, it goes a lot faster. I'm going to use this from now on. Now we just need to connect this cut to the cut on the other side, and then it's just this piece of flat iron that's holding the plate on. I tried on the other side putting the blade between and cutting along this piece, but it didn't go very well. The blade just went really hot, and well, I didn't go anywhere. So I'm afraid I have to make a small cut with the angle grinder from above, and then cut this piece off, so I'll take it off in 2 sections. Well, I tried making a pilot hole from upstairs with the angle grinder, and now I tried cutting in it, but cutting those welds is a really rough time. We'll see when we get to the weld over here. I'll try putting a new blade in the cutter, and then we'll try going over here. And if we can get through it, perfect. If we can't, we'll have to figure something out. Well, I tried. I simply can't get it through the weldings. So I think I'll have to cut them off out here, the flat irons, and here as well, and we'll take the whole thing out, and then I'll see if I can get a big grinder and grind off the weldings down on the ground instead, and then we'll put them back in or make some new. We'll see about that. But for now, I think I'll make something so that it doesn't fall on my head when I cut it loose, and then cut it at both ends, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Fortunately, I had the old bolt holes from the benches that were mounted on deck, so I just needed 4 bolts, 2 pieces of small chain, and then a winch. Then we were ready for lifting the plate. Well, of course I forgot to press record when I cut the last of it, but now it's free, it's hanging by the chains, and we'll try to get it up and see how it looks. Well, we got it out. I hate that I had to cut the flat iron. It would have been much nicer to leave it in. But now we have to get the plate down and then cut off the flat iron down there and see if we can weld it back in. Or maybe make a new one and put it in. We'll see. But for now, I think I'll try to get the plate down that I just took out, and then cover up the hole so that we don't get any moisture in the boat. I think I'll have to make a rig, like when I took down the benches and the steering wheel. But we'll have to see. Here you can see where I cut out the flat iron, and in the other side as well. The hole itself, I think I'm quite happy with it. It's sort of straight edges. I just need to knock off the old epoxy around the edges so I can see them clearly and see if we have to straighten them out. I know we do over there, but we'll see how bad it is on the other sides, and then we'll have to cut a new piece that matches and weld it in. Haha, there's a hole in our boat, a big one. Okay, I rigged up my tripod, 2-pot thingy, and opened up the tent. So now we should be ready for lowering down the metal plate. And to help me today, I have acquired the help of my lovely wife, Heidi. This is a 2-man job, so we 2-person job.
Yeah.
So she'll be winching the one winch, and I'll be doing the other one, and we'll see if we can get it down. Cross your fingers. This is no safety. Okay.
Yeah.
Up. Good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Den der går i fri. Slap ned af. Nu er jeg stille og roligt i livet.
Ja. Og jeg skal bare køre ned af.
Har du fået den til noget?
Wow. Woohoo! High five! Fedt.
Mr. Two-Pot did it again. We got it down. I'm not quite sure how safe that was. But
it did the job.
It did the job. We got it down.
Yeah.
So now it's just tidying up, close the tent again, maybe put a tarp over the hole up there so we don't get any moisture into the ship. And well, then that's it for today, I think.
Man må kaste den. Nej, så kaster du det. Hallo. Ja. Fik du voldtager? Ja.
Okay, we're back. Today I started with covering up the cabin downstairs. I've used a lot of old tarps and hung them around so that we can try to keep the dust here and not spread it into the rest of the boat. So now I'll start chipping away at the edges of the hole. I want to remove the epoxy so that we can get to welding and get to straightening the metal plates before we start welding again. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Last time it was quite hard chipping in the epoxy. We'll see if it works today or if we have to try to do something else. We'll see. Well, it definitely didn't get any easier, but the hammer works on the large pieces where it's loose. I'll use the hammer, and I'll use the hammer drill for the rest. Until we get to this, then I'll probably use the grinder with a sandpaper disc on it or something. But yeah, let's crack on, see how it goes. finally we got the epoxy off the edges. It took some time. I think I found a really a good way to do it, and it worked. So now it's time to take the angle grinder with some kind of sandpaper disc and smooth off the edges, remove the last epoxy, and then we are ready for some metal work. Perfect. Well, it's time to do some grinding, and for the grinding I'm going to use this sandpaper disc. I don't know what it's called. Well, maybe you can tell me. Write it in the comments. I'll read it. I don't know what it's called. In Danish it's called a flap disc. Who knows? I'm going to take just like 5 centimeters around, so that I can do the welding and the grinding for the welding, cutting, etc. And then I'm finished with the epoxy for now, I think. So yeah, let's get going. Well, that cleans up very nice, I think. And as you can see, where I did the cut, we're back to the 5 millimeters of steel that we're aiming for. I did find a hole over there, but instead of changing the whole aft deck, I think I'll make a small patch. It's a very small hole, so it'll be a small patch over there. I'm not going to change the whole aft deck. We are going to change another one over there, but we'll make a small patch in between instead of changing the plate all the way over. I could, of course, just change the whole plate, but then I have these pieces of flat iron I have to cut loose, and I can't do that. I have to cut them and take them down and cut them beneath the boat. So that's not an option, unfortunately. If you know what they're called, by the way, please write that as well. I know what it's called in Danish. I don't know what they're called in English. These pieces of flat iron, that's all the way across. It's like the ribs of the boat. I don't know what they're called. But yeah, this turns out nicely. So let's get the rest done. Well, here we have the piece of flat iron that we cut off, the piece that we took out of Carla. when I got it off, you can really see how corroded it actually was. In the middle, we're almost down to half the thickness of the rest. So we decided to have one made, a new one. And it's laying right beside it. I got it made a little bit longer, or actually quite a bit longer, so that we can cut off the piece we need, but have a little extra to fit it in. So now I think I'm going to cut off the new one with an extra 10 or 15 centimeters in both ends, so that we can clamp it onto the old ones up there and make it all fit before we start welding it in. So yeah, let's cut it off. Well, we're back on the boat. Now it's time to start straightening out the old deck. And as you can see, I've just put this from one piece of flat iron to the other, and this one should be up by it. But when I cut this piece, it fell, I think, maybe a centimeter. I think that's what's missing here. So I'm going to raise this up before we start measuring out how, where to cut the new piece. And as you can see, we have quite a dent in the deck here. We have a dent down there, and we have a dent going up there. This one is also sitting a bit askew. I don't know if there has been some tensions in the deck, if it's got a dent. I don't know what's happened, but we're definitely going to do something about it. I think I'm going to make a cut in this piece so that we can relieve the tensions and get the plate back up into the right place. Maybe when we do that, this one will come on its own, or else we're going to make a cut into that one as well and do the same, but we'll see. For now, I'll try put some kind of winch on this one, see if I can raise it. If I can, then we'll do the flat iron first, and then we'll concentrate on the deck when we've welded in the flat iron. Well, that worked. Now we got it in approximately the right height. So now I'll try and if I can put the new piece up against the old, clamp it on, and see if the height is fitting all the way over. If it is, I can make a line where to cut the new one so that I can weld it on. Well, now that we're going to straighten up the deck, I think I'm going to try to make a cut into the deck so that it'll be able to overlap when we straighten it. It feels like there's too much plate to give right now, so giving it that chance to overlap, it'll be easier to straighten it out, and once we've straightened it out, I'll weld it back up together again. Well, that's my plan anyways, so let's see how it goes. I think I'm gonna need a bigger hammer. Well, I didn't have a bigger hammer. This is what I got, apparently. I have a bigger one, but the handle is broken. I'll have to fix that. So we'll use the winch instead. Might be a bit more controlled anyways. See if we can get it up. And see if we can get it straight. Well, I think I got it straightened out after my little act of violence. As you can see, the cut I made with the recip saw, in here it's the original width, but out here at the edge it's all together now. So that's how much extra material we had. Now we'll just have to weld it back up again. But yes, we got it quite straight. It's still a little too high in the middle, but I think we'll be able to push it down when we weld in the flat iron and the plate. Shouldn't be a problem. So now it's just a matter of doing the same on the other side. And yeah, then we're almost ready to start welding. I've decided to send the flat iron back into the workshop to get rolled a little bit more. I tried fitting it now again after I straightened out both ends, and it still needs maybe 1.5 centimeters to get where it's supposed to be, and it's too much. If I have to grind that off the ends we'll end up with a much smaller piece of metal up there, and I don't want that. So I think instead of fitting this now, I'll start up welding up these cuts that were made to straighten out the plate. And for that I have my trusty old welder, a stick welder. I have this fire blanket that I'm going to drape over the interior below, and when I'm cutting I'm going to hang it so that I'm cutting into it. If we get a fire, I've prepared a hose, a water hose, and I have 3 extinguishers to use. So hopefully we can get it under control if anything happens. I hate welding when you have wood and insulation nearby, but we have to. I cannot take the whole boat apart to do this. So with the fire blanket, the water and the extinguishers, we should be safe. Hopefully. Okay, so now I cut a groove into the plate so that we have something to fill with the welder. Hopefully it's not too much. I read somewhere they said 1 to 2 millimeters, and that's approximately what we have. In the middle we have nothing, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. This is a test. First time we're welding on Carla, so exciting. Okay, that's welded up. We got it done with varying degrees of success. Where it went nicely, it got really nice, but I had some holes from the old bolts. They were quite hard to get past, so I had to fix them. And in the beginning I had it turned up to way too much heat. I'd been testing the machine in a thicker piece of iron, and that's why I just started on the max, and of course it shouldn't be. I have it turned down to approximately 90, I think, 90 amps. So yeah, it went okay. Well, considering that it's the first time I do an overhead welding like this, I think it went alright. I did have some problems all the way in here. I had some problems where I had the big hole, but otherwise I think it turned out quite nice actually. I was afraid I was going to have the welding drooping down, but I kept it cold enough so that it stayed up there, and hopefully it's good enough. I don't know, I hope so. This was definitely too cold, so I'll have to grind that off, but I think I'll do that when we weld in the big plate. So now it's off to the other side and do the same. Perfect. Well, we finished up that side as well. I think it turned out nice. I'm still learning, and I'll have to have a look at it when we get daylight and see if there's anything I have to remove or redo. I'm really happy that my old welder did the job. It's the welder I inherited from my granddad, and I'm just happy that I don't have to go buy a new one. Monday morning I'm going to the machine shop and see if I can get them to roll the piece of flat iron one more time, just so that we can get that extra 1 centimeter that we need. If you know the name of the flat iron or that type of iron in the ship, please write it in the comment. I don't know what it's called. Other than that, I think that's it for this video. I have to go back to work next week, and I have to have time to edit the video. So we'll wrap it up. Next video is going to be about cutting a piece of sheet metal and putting it in, along with the flat iron. We also may have a small project over there. There's a small hole. We'll have to make a small square and replace it up against the wheelhouse. But we'll see about that in the next video. For now, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a comment or a question or some good advice for me, please write them in the comment section below. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.